Quiz today, everybody! With AI quizzes, you'll give faster feedback, your students will learn more, and it'll be easier for you. Hello, and welcome to AI for quiz creation and auto grading. I'm Sean Foster, and in this video, we're going to go over a workflow for using AI to create quiz questions based on your own content. Then we'll go over an optimized workflow for getting that out of the AI and into your learning management system where it can be auto-graded. So let's jump in and go over the 4 key areas we're going to cover. We'll talk about the workflow benefits. Then we'll talk about resources to look for from your own school to see if you can even optimize this further. We'll go over some quiz prompts to get you started in the AI, and then we'll go over the workflow from getting the information from the AI to your learning management system. So what are the key benefits? There is a huge learning quality increase by using this workflow. Why is that? If you use quizzes and you don't give students immediate feedback, the learning curve drops off in terms of the amount of absorption or sort of adjustment to what the students have learned or think they've learned. The other method we'll talk about when we go through the AI prompts is that a key problem with quizzes in the past has been always that students often are a little bit confused sometimes with the questions or with the possible answers. And you can use the AI to optimize the clarity there. This is also an accelerated workflow. In the past, I've created quizzes, but it takes a lot of work. And generating the quiz questions, generating the different options, telling the LMS which one's correct, and then shooting it off to the students, it always takes time. So this is going to take care of a lot of that, especially as the amount of content that we are creating on a yearly basis is increasing. Okay, so the resources that I was talking about. So first, check online for different resources. There's a huge number of growing AI-based resources that are specifically for generating AI quiz content. I'm going to demonstrate using ChatGPT, but I've also tried out some of the other ones that are here, and they're all looking pretty amazing. So in addition to that, look at your school for some internal resources. With just a little bit of looking, I found Learnosity subscriptions, Labster, Respondus, and Gradescope, which I've heard really great things about all of these different resources. So you might be able to blend this workflow in with all the other tools that you're also having access to. Okay, so let's jump into generating multiple choice questions. So I've got a PowerPoint that I've pulled up that I'm going to convert to a PDF. To do that, you go to File, Save as PDF, and then I'm going to drop it into a folder that I've called AI Quiz Creation. Take this file to ChatGPT. Now I've dropped that in, and I'm going to give it a prompt. Please use this PDF to generate 10 multiple choice quiz questions about lighting humans. Each question should have 4 choices and also generate explanations for the correct answer. Let's give that a try. So it says, here are your answers. Wait till this is done and I'll take a look and see if there's any ones that I really think that should be changed or modified. And if I want to, I can just say, please replace question 8 with a different question. Okay, great. So let's say that I don't need to replace any of these. What do we do next? Before we move to exporting, I want to also show how you can drag an image and use that as a context for generating quiz questions as well. So I've got the girl with the pearl earring. It's a famous image by Johannes Vermeer. And here's a prompt. Please generate a question based on the soft light and what is the intended effect, which is that it creates a sense of warmth and intimacy. It does a great job of both interpreting the image and reusing the format that I had previously requested. So this is wonderful. And for a future tutorial, I will show how to integrate images with your quiz questions. But for this For this example, I'm just going to go over the basics
Really,
to get
there's
everybody
two
started.
key
So
file
let's jump
types
into
that I found
exporting
that
formats
are used for quiz creation and integration. There's the CSV, which is the comma separated values, which is a common file type that you can open up in spreadsheet programs like Excel or Google Sheets. Then there's also QTI. QTI stands for Question Test Interoperability Format. Now, it's a file format that usually exists in a zip file. It's also stored hierarchically using an XML format. So we're at a point where we want to output these quiz questions to our learning management system. The great thing is that AIs can output multiple file formats. They can output tables. So I said, generate a table with the questions, answers, and explanations. And this is amazing, but this is not what we need. It's not the right format. So what format do we need? The next step that I would follow would be to ask the AI what formats it might know and then just output it for that specific learning management system. So I did that. Said, hey, here's a list of the ones that I know off the top of my head. Unfortunately, mine wasn't in there, and that's not a problem. The My Courses system is based off of the Brightspace D2L format, and they also provide an example of a file type for importing. So where do I find that? So I went to My Courses, I went to the quizzes area, and then I said new quiz. When I chose add existing, there is a supported formats. It says, hey, I can accept the QTI and the CSV, and here's a template. So I clicked that and downloaded the template, and let me pull that up. So here's the template. It's an interesting format. So I found the multiple choice question format area, and I just simply copied and pasted this into ChatGPT and said, hey, here's the format I want, and use that for my quiz questions. So I just copied that, and let me scroll down. I also tried something really complicated. When I found this initially, I said, oh, like I wrote a really long prompt saying, I specified each column and what data would exist in each, and that was way more complicated than I needed. Instead, after doing that, I was like, wait a second, maybe I can just copy and tell the AI that's the format I wanted. Because it did. It generated a table, but what was way easier and cleaner was to copy in the format straight off of the Excel sheet. So I did that. Here is the format where I copy and pasted straight from the example file provided by the learning management system. It said, okay, I'll use that. And then it said, okay, here's what I think that you just said. After looking at what it provided, I noticed that I wanted to integrate the feedback into the feedback line. So that's what I asked it to do next. Please redo this. And in the line where it says feedback text, make sure that you put the explanation information for each question in there. And then I started to say the next step is to output a CSV file. And it did. And when I looked at the CSV file, in the CSV, I did this a few times, and it generally got between 3 and 5 questions consistently output based on the amount of data that I was requesting. So for this example, I just did 3 at a time. And then for the last one, I did 4. So I did 3, 3, and 4. And then I can just drop these files that it kicked out. So it provides links. One note of caution is that I noticed that these links for the download for the files expire after around 24 hours. So make sure you grab the files when they come up. So here are the different quiz drop-in questions, and I can drop that in. You do one at a time for the system, and it says, okay, I found some questions. Here's 3 questions. Let's do some more. Here's 3 through 6. Awesome. So once this has been generated, of course, you probably want to try to make sure you take the quiz and make sure that it comes out the way you wanted it. So what would you need to do for this specific system, for the My Courses system? You would like pipe it to the gradebook. You add these, you can say out of 10 points or out of 100 based on what your weights are. You can set the due date, and then you can preview the test. So that will pretty much wrap things up. And now you've got, you can save and close this. Let me know if you'd like a more advanced tutorial integrating images or other types of quiz questions. But otherwise, that'll wrap things up. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like and make sure you subscribe for more weekly AI content.